The good old Battle of Umbara, pretty much the Vietnam equivalent of Star Wars, but minus all the benefits the Allies had. I mean, come on, what did the Republic expect? They waltzed into a planet that harbored extreme hate for all things clones, and were also one of the most technologically advanced races in the entire universe. Can't get any more suicidal than that, can it? Well, I beg to differ, and in today's video, I have something quite different for you guys. And with the help of the team over at Generation Tech, we've decided to thoroughly look into both the positives and negatives of the battle. Being an Aussie, I of course chose to look at the downside of things, while our friends at Generation Tech are covering all the upsides. So make sure you check out their great video and terrible Aussie impression right after this. Well, first things first, I have to give credit where it's due. And I must say, the Republic fought with absolute ferocity on the ground, and without the tenacity and combined efforts of both the 501st and 212th, the Republic would not have won Umbara, and that's for sure. But today, we're not going to be analysing why the troopers did so well and why they were so great in the battle. We're going to be looking at all the faults and all the shortfalls of the Republic and their strategies and everything surrounding the Battle of Umbara. So let's get into it. So the first point of this video is of course why the research and strategy failed for the Republic. Now, as most of you would know, these two factors are extremely crucial in any warlike environment and for any wartime successes that a faction hopes to achieve. So if you don't properly plan and don't properly do the research and don't have a viable strategy in place for the enemy you're facing, you're not going to have a good time. So in my opinion, the first mistake came in the form of the lack of research conducted by Republic intelligence. Although I believe research was done, it was very limited, and I guess fair enough because the Umbarans did have really advanced technology that did deter a lot of Republic forces from gathering accurate information. But that still doesn't negate the fact that the Republic sent in the 501st and 212th into basically a blind situation where they really didn't know what hit them and what was going to hit them. So you just have to give credit to the 212th and 501st for, pulling it off against in such turbulent conditions. So to sum it up, the Republic research was pretty terrible to say the least, and there's really no excuse for it. So all I can say is that the Republic screwed up. Now, it's even acknowledged in the episode that the Northern Front is where the majority of Umbaran resistance would be. So isolating the 501st to just the Northern Front, in my opinion, nearly made them collapse due to the sheer pressure the Umbarans were just pushing onto them. Although some could argue this strategy was effective, in my opinion, putting the 212th to the south and the 501st to the north was just kind of stupid because historically the 501st and 212th work extremely well together. So if they were combined, there would be less chance of either front collapsing and more chance of just a push from all the clones to overwhelm the Umbarans with their sheer combat aptitude and everything like that. So yeah, the research and strategy already doomed the battle before it even started, and if the 501st and 212th didn't have to go on blind like they did in the original arc, there would have been a much greater chance of them succeeding with minimal casualties. I of course know Ponkrell did come in later and he wanted to undermine the Republic, but we'll get into that point a little bit later. But for now, we're going to move on to the second point, overconfidence. So, you may be asking, what do I mean by overconfidence? Well, the Republic basically walked into Umbara with stupid confidence, and in my opinion, it was because of two main factors that led them just to garner a false sense of security above the planet of Umbara. And the first point, of course, is when they launched their extremely successful space assault against the Separatist blockade that was protecting the planet of Umbara. Now, although kind of counterintuitive, the Republic just crushed the Separatists in a space battle, and the Separatists were actually trying and did want to stop the Republic, but the Republic just blitzed through it, and because of this, they just underestimated Umbara and its people. They thought, they weren't getting enough supplies from the Separatists, they wouldn't be able to hold on their own, and everything was going to be just fine. But as we all know, this wasn't the case, and this false sense of security and confidence did hinder the Republic, especially in the early stages of the ground assault. The second one also relates to the ground assault, and although not confirmed, to me it seemed like everybody was pretty nonchalant about the whole process and the whole ground assault, and they subconsciously assumed that everything would be as easy as it was in space and as it was on many other planets that the Republic had previously annexed and fought against. But this, of course, was not the case, and the first wave of Republic troopers got absolutely decimated by the Umbaran defenses and subsequently allowed the Umbarans to gain the upper hand. So yeah, to sum it up, arrogance is a killer. So now onto my most vehement criticism about the Battle of Umbara, that criticism being the Jedi Council. So what do I mean by this? Well, basically, the Jedi Council were the ones who invited the psychopathic frog we know as Pong Krell to take command of the 501st, and also were the ones who brought Anakin back to Coruscant. Now, many of you may be thinking, but Geetsly's, Palpatine was the one who personally requested Anakin to come back. Well, Palpatine doesn't have that much power, and in order to get Anakin back, he needed to go through the Jedi Council in order to get his request approved, which was pretty much a death sentence to the 501st. Because, as we all know, Pong Krell made the conscious decision to betray the Republic during the Battle of Umbara, which led to countless and unnecessary clone deaths which would have been prevented if Anakin stayed in command of the 501st. All these setbacks caused by Pong Krell was a major hindrance to the Republic's war effort, and if it wasn't for the tenacity, combat aptitude, and intelligence of Rex and his many 501st troops, they wouldn't have made it through, and Umbara would still be under Separatist control. So you have to give it to them, and you do sometimes have to look at the positive side of things, even though this is a primarily negative video. It was a culmination of all these problems that made Umbara one of the most crippling Republic battles to date. But in saying this, even the bad strategy, under preparation, overconfidence, and Pong Krell didn't make up for the sheer skill and combat aptitude of both the 501st and 212th combined. So, I leave you with the question: do you agree with my analysis, or do you think I'm just a pleb? Let me know below. Also, I want to just quickly thank the guys over at Generation Tech for an awesome collaboration. Be sure to check them out because they make extremely quality Star Wars content, and they also have the Everything Right About the Battle of Umbara video on their channel. So, you can't just leave this saga unfinished. Anyways guys, that's pretty much all from me, and I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this collaboration between Generation Tech and I. It was really fun, and I hope we do it again sometime in the future. Also, just before you go, don't forget to join us on Instagram and Discord for all the latest memes and behind the scenes shots. I hope to see you in the next video.